Hello, this is the Digital Loop, Season 3, Episode 2. I haven't seen Ivan for a very, very long time because only yesterday we were together in Warsaw. Hello, Ivan, how are you?
Hi, Paul. Great to see you again. Taking into consideration, like as you mentioned, we just spent a couple of days here in Warsaw. Both of us we were speaking at the ICT Summit. It was a great event. Congratulations to the organizers. And actually, our plan was to record yesterday together, both of us, while we were in Warsaw. But all of a sudden I was pulled to moderate a panel on corporations and innovation. It was a great panel, but unfortunately, due to that, we could not record the show live, both of us together. But hey, we're here back again, and
Yeah, and
actually,
and talking about recording together, actually, since we're going to be again together next week, because this is the purpose of this show. LeWeb is starting next week. We're both going to be in Paris, and probably, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers for those who cannot see this on the video feed. We will be actually recording live from Paris. So, talking about LeWeb, are you excited, Ivan?
I am very excited. I mean, last year was the first time that the Digital Loop was the official blogger of the Le Web Paris 2013. This year we're back. This year I'm going back again to spread the word and spread the gospel of technology and ideas and all these exciting things that are happening today. So I'm back as an official blogger of Le Web. Really excited, really looking forward to a fantastic event. You, Paul, you are back as the co-host of the event, so I'm also really excited to see you back on stage. And
Yeah,
um, and
I'll be on the main stage. At some moments, you'll see me. I'm a tall guy. There's another tall dude called Loic Lemaire. We kind of look alike. He's better built than I am. He has blue eyes. Otherwise, the rest is kind of almost the same. So just don't
So
be.
yeah, and this year, last year's edition was very interesting. It was looking at forward at the next 10 years. So most of the speakers, you can feel this approach of really looking forward into the future and trying to come up with a little bit of guidance of how we can deal with these new realities that are happening now. This year, the focus is a little bit different. This year we have different areas that during the web we're going to be covering. There's going to be the web trends, looking at different trends from wearable technology, crowd economies. All the way to mindfulness, and how important it is for executives to be mindful of what we're doing. Media, healthcare, drones, art. So it's really diverse and really wide spectrum of areas where we're going to be dealing at the web.
Yeah, the opening speech will be given by Fred Wilson from Union Square Ventures. That's a firm, a venture capitalist firm based in New York. He also did the opening keynote last year, and it was one of the highlights of the web, at least for me, and a note for you as well, Ivan. And I'm really looking forward. So he's going to set the stage, and he's going to. We were talking. You were mentioning the next 10 years. I'm not sure it's going to go into the next 10 years, but what I like about his vision is he will clearly set the stage and tell us how we've moved forward since last year and what we have to look for in 2015. As you said, the rest of the web has been given to curators. So there's one person that is responsible for each part of the web. Jeff Clavier, who's a VC based on the West Coast, will handle healthcare. Julien Codorniou, who works here in Facebook, is the head of partnership for Facebook and lives here in London, will be talking about startups. Brady Forrest, who you might have heard might do a TV show with Dave McClure. We'll talk about the makers, so all these movements about 3D printing, doing stuff, actually physical stuff. A friend of mine, actually, Benjamin Joffe, who now lives in Shenzhen and has an accelerator there, and a hardware accelerator, will be on a panel with Brady, so that would be very interesting. I think there's Jeremiah Wying, our friend Jeremiah, obviously will be there. He will obviously update us on the collaborative economy or sharing economy. Both terms are accepted nowadays. I don't know if you heard the news, Ivan, but there was this massive round of funding by Uber that was announced yesterday, $1.2 billion, valuation at $40 billion. It's like everybody was going completely nuts and insane yesterday. So it will be giving an update on this. Actually, just a parenthesis, if you look at it, the total funding, that's according to Jeremiah's number, the funding of the collaborative economy now actually overtakes social. It's like it's really, so it's really, he was right actually looking at this trend and refocusing completely on this trend. Other people, Roxanne Varza, she works at Microsoft BizSpark in Paris. She's been also talking about obviously startups, but with an angle on e-commerce. I think there's Robert Scoble, as usual, our favorite tech/futurist tech kid in a candy store when it comes to technology. I'm sure it will be fun. I know I'm missing someone, of course, and Brian, our dear friend also, Brian, who's promised us to come on the show one of these days because he's always very, very busy, but he'll have it on Digital Loop, which, if you want to mention what he's going to do, because that's actually closer to, he's going to talk about, I think, digital transformation. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct, digital transformation. Yeah, but Brian, we were talking about having him as a guest, and we're looking forward to have him as a guest in this season 3. He's been writing a book, so he's been really, 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 really busy. But yeah, we're looking forward to see him in Paris and explore the possibilities of having him as a guest. I know that it will be fantastic for all of you to have the chance to hang out a little bit here with Brian. Yes, he's going to be talking about digital transformation, and this is the area in which Altimeter Group, they develop a very, very an excellent report not long ago, like 2-3 months ago. And he's going to be talking, he's going to be moderating a panel, he's going to be talking about digital transformation. So I'm really looking forward to this because what we've been noticing, the fact that there is a lot of corporations that they are really struggling to understand how to deal with these new changes that are happening, and to have the possibility to have
Oh, and I think I just lost Ivan right there, so I'm gonna see if he can rejoin me on the show. So while I go on, so yeah, so he's going to talk. So Brian is going to talk about digital transformation, and effectively what he does is trying to translate this message for a corporation. A little bit what Ivan and myself do when we do our consulting and our workshops is not all that we do, but we do that as well. But he does that very, very well. And I forgot to mention one name. There's this person that now I'm looking for it on the website while I'm talking, from Forrester Research, James Quigley, I think, is going to talk about wearable computing, which is obviously one of the other trends that are necessitated. I think I have Ivan back on the feed. Don't worry, Ivan. I kept rambling while you were gone for like half a second. I moved on to wearable computing. If you want to go on to what you were saying about digital transformation, the struggle of corporations, just feel free to go.
Yeah, sorry about that. All of a sudden here I'm talking and this thing move and I'm like, oh, let me just move it to the right. Oh, I press the X.
That was your fault. It's not even technology.
Yeah.
It's like
no. I'm not gonna blame Google for my stupidity. Anyway,
never mind.
Sorry about that. Can you see me because I cannot see?
Yeah, you're perfect. Don't worry. Just go on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, digital transformation, something that we noticed. I had a conversation with a lot of clients and a lot of people here about how corporations, how companies are dealing with these changes. And it's not just about the technology. It's about the processes. It's about the dynamics. It's about the people. It's about the culture, how people deal with these changes. And that report that Brian Solis and Altimeter Group developed, it's really, really helpful. I really look forward to see if he's going to expand on the findings of his report, or if he is going to again show us the way forward. So I'm really, really looking forward to.
Actually, so actually, to interrupt you, there will be there's actually a digital transformation forum as part. So I mentioned the curators because there are trends, that are separated. I said healthcare, et cetera, and then you have separate tracks as well. So you have the main stage when these trends will be addressed, but there will be a digital transformation forum. It will be the first and the second day. You'll be a European forum, so a focus in Europe. I know that sometimes LeWeb at this, it's a very, LeWeb is sometimes considered as being an American conference that happens to be in Europe. It's always that's also the reason of its success, I believe, because a lot of the trends we're talking about are all obviously coming from the U.S., but Europe, as especially in the startup scene, has been rising very quickly, and there have been sometimes some critics about Europe being forgotten in the mix. So there will be a very heavy European presence. You can just check on the website and the speakers that are attending. But at the same time, there will be a European focus part of the conference as well, and obviously the usual startup competition. I was a judge at some point in the past. It's also a very good competition with a heavy European and French actually presence for once. So because there are also obviously other people saying, oh, it's in Paris, it should be also more French focused. I mean, that's in every conference you have that. So I think this is what also makes LeWeb success, is have these all these mixes coming together. If a conference doesn't have tension, the conference is not successful, and I think this is one of the reasons this one is. Any other things you're looking for? Any speakers you're looking forward to see? Any trends you're looking forward to hear, Ivan?
Yeah, from the speaker's point of view, as you mentioned earlier, I'm really looking forward to seeing Fred Wilson from Union Square Ventures. His keynote speech last year was excellent, to the point, facts, figures, clear, fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to see him again. Of course, our dear friends Jeremiah Owyang and Brian Solis, not just because they're friends, because they're amazing, and huge fan. And apart from that, of course, a good friend, Tony from About.me.
Tony Conrad. Yeah,
Tony Conrad.
He's going to be part, so there will be I think it's a panel format. It's going to be called Silicon Valley Visionaries. So it'll be Phil Libben, so the CEO of Evernote, which I love. I just bought, sorry to make like free advertising, I just bought the ScanSnap, which is a tool that scans everything and puts it to Evernote. It's the best ever thing I've ever bought. I've been using Evernote for 5 years, and I could do an entire show of the Digital Loop about it. I'm not sure it would be interesting to anyone. So there will be Phil, there will be Tony Conrad from About.me, Loic will be moderating, and there will be also Kevin Rose from Google Ventures. So it will be interesting because they will have also probably a very good take on trends. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah. No. I mean, the good thing with Tony Conrad, I have shared stage with him as a keynote speaker at Webit Global Congress this year, and also at SparkMe in Montenegro. So it's going to be the third conference where we bump into each other. So I'm really looking forward to see his conversation with Kevin Rose. Kevin Rose, who is somebody who's been very successful and who created a fantastic podcast. Let's do promotion for Kevin's podcast foundation.
Very good indeed, yeah.
It's a fantastic podcast. You really need to check it out if you're interested. So yeah, that panel sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And apart from that, I'm very curious because I don't know. I think that the web for many years had a tendency to bring like big names, and of course Jeremiah, Brian, Robert Scoble, these are very big names. But I had the impression that this year they're starting to go more into bringing the speakers that are really experts in specific subjects that maybe are not so, let's say, well known as speakers, but they are doing really interesting stuff.
I think it's better. I think it's better for some. One thing is that those people that are here are people that actually do things. It's great to speak. I mean, we're both speakers, and we know the limits of that exercise sometimes. I mean, it's great to speak, but it's also great to back it up with stuff you actually do. And I think this is also the reason that they focused on people that actually do shit. I'm sorry to use the term for people that don't like me swearing, but the people do actually stuff, and that actually then will talk about the stuff they've actually been doing. And I think I repeated the word actually 5 times in the past 30 seconds. I'm sorry for that, but this is the point. I think this is the reason that some of the people you might not have heard about, or they're not as well known, is because if you do something, you might not always have the time to talk about it. So I think it's a great opportunity here at LeWeb to hear from them.
Exactly, and actually, I'm really looking forward to being surprised. To go to a presentation knowing about the company, knowing a little bit about the speaker, the founder, the CEO, and actually being blown away. I'm really looking forward to this type of surprises, because this is what's it's all about. When you go to conferences and you have the same speakers that speak in the same place and they're just rolling around, it's not as valuable as when you learn something new. So really looking for that. And of course, the web, it's a huge event. It's a huge platform for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of startups. I don't know how many people are going to be this year, but I'm sure that it's going to be a lot of really interesting people. We've been in touch with different organizations that want to meet while we are there. So we're really looking forward to also get to know interesting people and interesting startups.
I'm going to plug something because I have to see disclosure. I have a working relationship with them, but the South Korean government is actually sending 10 startups. I think it's dead now. Look, I'm not even sure. I have the papers right there on my computer, but I cannot look at them now. But I didn't think to tell that before. So the startup government is sending startups. You have early stage to a bit later stage startups in Europe for a small tour. There today here in London, there's a demo day this afternoon. If you want to know more, you just have to contact me directly. The details are on the digitalloop.co. And they will have a presence in Paris. To see that, LeWeb is also very international. It's not only American, European. You also have presence. I mentioned Benjamin Joffe, the Frenchie of Asia, as some people call him. So from Shenzhen, so you'll have other perspectives as well, which is fascinating. So be sure, and I know it's a little plug, but be sure to check these little startups from South Korea. Some of them are really cool. They'll be in the main area where all the booths are. That's going to be and say you're coming from me, from Paul, and they would actually really appreciate that, because there are some, they're tiny and they really want to understand the dynamics in Europe. And obviously to also meet interesting people, so be sure to stop by. Sorry for that little plug, Ivan. I had to.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, today's show is actually to show that actually this is a huge event that actually is not just about some people standing on stage just talking, but actually it goes way deeper than that. And this is one of the reasons why we love LeWeb so much, and why we're really looking for this event. And of course, if you guys, you need to remember there is a live feed, so we strongly recommend you to next week. The conference starts on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Go to leweb.co and watch the live feed. This is a great opportunity. The fact that you have the opportunity, if you are not able to join us in Paris, if you can be back home and you can look and watch these amazing speakers, I really strongly recommend you to check out the live feed. Of course, the videos will be available later, but hey, if you wanna get the information, right on real time, that's the best way to do it. The second best way to do it is actually following me on Twitter, because I will be I will be I will be live blogging and live tweeting directly right next to the stage. I will be, using my magic fingers to share as much information as possible live during the event. Yeah. So you can check out you can check me out at in Twitter at Ivan Hernandez _.
Yeah. Anyway, the feed from the Twitter feed from the Digital Loop, so I had the Digital Loop is retweeting often Ivan and myself, so you just have to go there and you can then follow both of us. Me, as I will not be sharing as much, I will try. What I usually do is, since I'm backstage all the time, I try to share pictures and some quick tidbits from backstage, hidden behind the scene kind of stuff. But it's true, follow Ivan. It'll be and also if you're there, actually you can go just and meet him, because he'll probably be one of the first front row. There's you'll see some seats with desks, and these usually are made for bloggers. So just, if you don't know how it looks like, if you're just listening to us and not watching, just go there on our YouTube channel, watch a few seconds of a video, and you'll see Ivan's and myself's face, and then you can actually recognize him. And I'm sure he'll be very happy Ivan, to meet all of you that want to meet us. It will be a bit more difficult, and I apologize in advance to meet me, because obviously being backstage, all wired up to be ready to go on stage in case they need me, means that I have less time in the main area where everybody hangs out, but I'll try my best. But apologies in advance if I don't see you. I know every year I get criticized that, oh, you never have time for me. Yeah, well, I'm really sorry for that, because I have to be ready. But I really hope to be seeing all of you. There will be also, as usual, social activities around the web. There's like parties, dinners, etc., etc. So I'm sure Serendipity will make that. Will meet some of us and some of you. Sorry. And to that, do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap up and we meet actually in Paris?
No, actually that's it. As I mentioned before, if you bump into me, if you bump into Paul, if you are at the same place, come and say hi. We love getting feedback from you guys.
Yeah.
So come and say hi, and if you have any questions, connect with us on Twitter. Really looking forward to Paris.
Yeah. So on that one, I'm saying au revoir, Yvon.
Au revoir, mon ami.
And see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Godspeed.